Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello everyone, I'm Karis. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, September 8th through Saturday, September 14th, 2024. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. The sensational September night sky this week has the Sun and Saturn in opposition, with the Earth passing in between the Sun and Saturn. Saturn has a beautiful visibility, the visibility of the color yellow that is going to last past this week. Mercury, the planet of communication, meets up with Regulus, the fixed star, the royal heart of the lion, the watcher of the north. So this is Mercury with Regulus. On September 9th through the 10th, we have the moon near the fixed star Antares, which is in the heart of the Scorpion. Antares is a fixed star of determination and fortitude. On September 11th and 12th, we have the waxing gibbous moon near the teapot cluster of stars. The 7 original planets in astrology, or the OGs as I call them, that you can see without aid of binoculars and or telescope, are lined up as such this week. You can view them just like the first ancient astrologers did as well. We've got the Sun in Mutable Earth, Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury will be moving into the sign of Virgo this week, its exaltation and domicile. We start off the week with the moon in her fall in the sign of Scorpio. Venus is so happily placed in the sign of Libra, at home in her castle where she is happy and comfortable. Mars is now in its fall in the sign of Cancer. Jupiter is in Gemini, its detriment, and Saturn is still retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Sunday, September 8th, we have the Sun opposition Saturn. Now, these two powerful forces that tie into our ego, what we pride ourselves on. The Sun opposition Saturn with the moon in her fall in fixed water Scorpio is where something could be said, something could be done, where what you pride yourself on takes a hit. In other words, a healthy ego, feeling good about yourself, confident, believing in yourself, is a wonderful thing. We need that. But when the ego, let's say for instance, you pride yourself on being a great mom, a great friend, whatever it may be, if and when someone makes a comment or does something with the moon in her fall tied into this cosmic power, then being emotionally upset and triggered is what is happening on this day. So let's say, for instance, you are a fabulous mom and you let your child have a piece of candy or something, and someone makes a comment, oh, a good mom wouldn't let their child eat candy. I'm just using this as an example. Then with the moon in her fall in Scorpio, which is where you have been carrying the emotional baggage that was never yours to begin with, the emotional baggage from your mom, your primary caretaker, then all of this emotion with the moon making a trine to Saturn in Pisces, a sextile to the Sun in Virgo, an inconjunct aspect to Jupiter, Chiron, can be this grieving, this well of emotion coming up, where you may feel like the subconscious, the id, is running amok, taking control and wanting to lash out. Scorpio being ruled by the planet of Mars. There is help on the way if you are feeling this way, because some comment or something was said and done that you took as a real wound. It was hurtful to your ego, what you pride yourself on, in a good way. Now later on Sunday, we have Mercury the planet of the mind and thinking and communication, moving into the sign of Virgo. It's exaltation and domicile, where thinking common sense, being able to think things through, seeing clarity. Also Mercury the messenger, what you say to yourself, how you are communicating. This is the power on this day. This is the help on the way that I'm referring to, because to say the least, that this can be a very out of control emotional day with the sun opposition Saturn and the moon in her fall. Mercury the messenger is on the way to help so that we can stay grounded, clear thinking, and it doesn't have to be this big over the top emotional, subconscious, irrational leading the way. Always remember, with the cosmic power, you have the power and how you handle this. Monday, September 9th, the moon's day. We start off the day with the moon still in her fall in the sign of Scorpio, making an opposition to the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus. The moon makes a water trine flow to Neptune in Pisces, and then a sextile aspect to Pluto, now retrograde in Capricorn. So the emotions are running high, and with the moon opposition, the planet Uranus in Taurus, be very careful about not making a very sudden and unexpected, abrupt ending to something where you just say, that's it, I'm done, and then potentially regret it later. Later on in the day, we have the moon entering mutable fire Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and the moon in Sagittarius will be making a square aspect to Mercury in Virgo, and then an inconjunct to the planet Mars, now in its fall. The moon in Sagittarius is the big picture, the dream, the philosophy, where you want to go in the future, how you want your life to increase. It's the dreamer and the ability to make the dreams come true. Making this square aspect to Mercury in Virgo. This square aspect between the moon and Mercury is Mercury pointing out, highlighting what are the practical, small, down-to-earth steps that are necessary to achieve the dream. The Mercury in Virgo notices and takes account of all of the small things that are essential. They may seem like a small thing, but they are necessary with Mercury in Virgo. So this squaring off between the moon and Virgo, which is what is the big picture, the big dream, which is beautiful, with the moon and greatly desiring the future in the sign of Sagittarius. But there are steps, necessary steps and details that we need to get there. So this squaring of the moon and Mercury can be a great sense of impatience, in the sense of, well, forget all the small things, I just want to get there. It doesn't work this way with Mercury in its domicile, pointing out very effectively these are things that are necessary, that need to get done, with the moon squaring off with Mercury. Also, we've got the moon in Sagittarius making an inconjunct aspect of adjustments and changes to Mars, now in its fall. Now, Mars in Cancer in its fall sign is moody and changeable, to say the least, just like how the moon fluctuates and changes signs every 2.5 days. So with the moon in conjunct Mars in its fall, you may think that some decision is firm and set in stone, but these aspects are saying, no, not quite ready yet. There is still adaptations and changes and small steps, things, practical things that are necessary to accomplish the goal. Tuesday, September 10th, we have the second quarter moon at exactly 19 degrees Sagittarius. Now, the second quarter moon is when the wheel of events turn and we are crossing over into the time of second quarter to full moon. The energy is intensifying, it's amplifying, it's condensing, it's heating up. Now, with this 19 degrees Sagittarius, this 19 degrees Sagittarius is a degree of sovereignty, royalty, being independent and doing your own thing, in the sense of, regardless of outside influences and forces, sovereignty is dictated to and controlled by no one or no thing. This second quarter moon also brings in an Aries influence. So with this Aries influence, which is bold and brand new and confident, and it's very courageous, this is the second quarter moon turning of the wheel, turning of the events, where you determine to go your own way and know and do what is right for you. Also on this day, we still have the moon in Sagittarius, making a sextile aspect to Venus in Libra, a square to Saturn in Pisces, and a square to the Sun in Virgo. So all of this is tying into a lot of mutable planetary placements. Now, the mutable signs of the zodiac, they correspond to the months during the year where the season is shifting and changing. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. This is the time of year when we are not fully out of one season and not fully into the next season. So the mutables are not firm. Everything is morphing. On this day with the moon in Sagittarius, which wants the truth, but everything is shifting and changing. This is the time with this second quarter moon at 19 Sagittarius, which is royalty and sovereignty, to believe none of it. Everything is changing, and it's like people talking out of both sides of their mouth. And what is the truth? What is not the truth? What is really real? What will shift and change? So all of these mutables, just stay the course, go your own way, and believe nothing or no one. If plans are made, the plans will change. If someone makes a promise, makes a statement, whatever someone is declaring to be the ultimate truth, just hold off. There are just too many mutable cosmic energies and powers taking place, where the point of it all is that you've just got to let things roll as they're going to roll on Tuesday, and not put too much stock, too much weight into what is being said and done. It's more like looking at these cosmic energies through the lens of, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, we'll see. Mercury is in its domicile and exaltation. Mercury is in Virgo. I've got to get more information, and especially with Mercury in the sign of Virgo, show me the proof. Let's see the reality, scientific facts of what is being said and declared. A lot of chatter and talk, obviously, on this day. Sagittarius rules over publishing, social media. Mercury is the news. Mercury is the radio, when we take in information and then give the information back. So all of this chatter, all of this noise, let's say, let it roll on Tuesday, the 10th. Stick to your sovereignty and royalty with the second quarter moon at 19 degrees Sagittarius. Wednesday, September 11th, we are starting off the day with the moon still in Sagittarius, making an opposition to its ruler, Jupiter, and Gemini in its detriment. The moon in Sag then makes a fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries, and in conjunct to Uranus in Taurus, a square to Neptune in Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. So with the moon in these aspects and on this day. This is the big letdown, because later on in the day we've got the moon moving into its detriment in the sign of Capricorn, and we also have Mercury in Virgo making a sextile aspect to Mars in Cancer in its fall. So this is the rude awakening. This is the day when the reality, the truth comes out about just what has been going on through all of the lies and all of the smoke and mirrors. On this day of all days, September 11th, respect. On this day, the truth is coming out in so many places and in so many ways that when the moon moves into her detriment in the sign of Capricorn, this is the feeling of feeling lost, like an orphan child trying to find its way back home. The confusion and the feeling of what really was real, what is false, what is the truth, what is a lie, trying to find something to hold on to as a grounding factor, especially when we're looking at the moon in Sagittarius making an opposition to its ruler, Jupiter in Gemini, its detriment. Now the moon is in Capricorn saying, how do I find my way to where it is safe, where there is comfort? What really is the definition of home? This disconnect from your emotional body, not knowing what you feel, how you feel. This is the wanting to find your path, your way back to home, being connected to your emotions, being connected where you feel this is your place, your home, your safety net. Thursday, September 12th, we've got the sun squaring off with Jupiter in Gemini. The moon in Capricorn makes an opposition to Mars in Cancer. Moon in Capricorn makes an earth trine flow to Mercury in Virgo. And then the moon in Capricorn makes a sextile aspect to Saturn in Pisces. These aspects where the moon is opposition, trine, sextile with the sun, making that square to Jupiter in Gemini. This is a lot of who is right, who is the law. Jupiter brings in not only philosophy, but a religious rightness in the sense of this is the way it is supposed to be. So to have the sun and Jupiter squaring off this way, again, we're looking at the mutable signs of the zodiac, earth and air. This is a big over-the-top debate, argument, to say the least, over the law, who is right and who is wrong, with the moon in Capricorn, trying to again find its place of comfort. Friday the 13th, Venus's day, we still have the moon in Capricorn, and the moon in Capricorn is making an earth trine flow to the sun in Virgo. The moon is also making a square to Venus in her castle in the sign of Libra. Now the aspects today by strength and dignity are the up-close personal planets. Mercury in its domicile, Venus in its domicile, the sun in Virgo ruled by Mercury, with Mercury in its domicile and exaltation. The outer planets, the mid-planets, are just all over the place and not filled up with the cosmic energy and power. The power you have on this day is not only self-care, but the power you have on this day is to process everything, to take the time and space when you can, to take it all in, and mutables and the energies and where the dignity and power is to say, I'm not ready to respond. I'm certainly not going to react. It's about just processing all the little pieces that need to be examined and processed. This goes back to the beginning of the week when Mercury entered Virgo, and the week started off with the moon in her fall in Scorpio and the very powerful placement of the sun opposition Saturn. This is a lot to chew on, as they say, and that is exactly what is needed, not only throughout the week, but on this Friday, the 13th. That is what is necessary. You don't let yourself be pushed into a decision or making a statement or signing on the dotted line. None of that. It's a lot to process before you are ready and feeling comfortable to say, do, or feel anything. Saturday, September 14th, we have the moon moving into fixed air Aquarius. The moon makes an inconjunct to Mars in its fall in Cancer, and also an inconjunct to Mercury in its strength in the sign of Virgo. The sun in Virgo makes an inconjunct to Chiron in Aries, and Venus at home in Libra makes an air trine flow to Jupiter in Gemini. So as we close out the week on Saturn's day, Saturn is quite visible at this time. Saturn is the tough lessons in life, the taskmaster. Saturn is also time. So as we close out the week with Saturn on Saturn's day, this is the reality check. This is getting the feet on the ground and seeing what really is and has been going on. Saturn is also reaping the reward, how you do the work and what you reap the way you sow. The Saturn of reality, which is if you're willing to do the work and look at the cold, hard facts, then that will come back to you. But it takes work, and it takes looking at what really is, which is what Saturn is all about. Always has been, always will be. On this day, the 14th, as we close out this reality check week and things being emotional and triggered, all of the he said, she said, all of the talk and changes and adaptions and what is really real and what is nonsense, we close out the week on Saturn's day, which is saying take the lesson learned and be willing to do the hard work so that you create what it is in your life, that not only what it is that you want to create, but what you have earned because you were willing to get real and do the work. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. I will see you all in the stars. Thank you.